remember how much. I remember. I don't know when Travis got headlined it. When did Travis headline Coachella? When did Travis Scott headline Coachella? It wasn't. I had heard, or maybe it was 2022 though. But apparently Travis had charged these niggas like $9-10 million, which is like wild to hear. But if you think about how much they're charging for them tickets, like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, news came down today, and I guess I got to find a new site because they're hating. News came down today that Kendrick Lamar and Rihanna have declined to headline Coachella. And they haven't said why they declined, but I think we could kind of assume why they declined. Kendrick Lamar is going to be, first of all, when is Coachella? Let me see. Coachella 2025. When is Coachella? Oh, it's in April. The Super Bowl is going to be in February. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they could pay Kendrick or Rihanna. I'm going to just keep it a beam with you. I don't think they can pay him. Now, the news is, and I'll just read the news first. Kendrick and Rihanna have reportedly declined to headline Coachella 2025. They said fans looking forward to catch Kendrick or Rihanna at Coachella 2025 will be sorely disappointed after the two A-listers have reportedly declined the opportunity to serve as next year headliners. Sources tell Bloomberg that the two passed on the opportunity for different reasons. Dot is already confirmed to headline the Super Bowl 2025, which is February, while Rihanna, the 2023 Super Bowl headliner, isn't interested in the big payout nor exposure. It is also reported that Kendrick Lamar is plotting a stadium tour. However, nothing is confirmed as of this writing. We'll talk about that in a second, but I will say this, and for all the K-bots, the K-barbs, this is where you could like get happy, because I'm gonna tell y'all a fact that helps your artist. Kendrick not being so accessible, from what I've heard at some of these events, have gotten him paid a lot. Like for example, and I guess this might be snitching, but who cares? So every year, every year they do this thing called Cannes, and Cannes is usually when I think a lot of come on, Variety, stop playing with me. Cannes, I think is a Cannes Music Festival or whatever. Anyway, here's the point. All these motherfucking industry people go to Cannes. Half of them just fuck each other, and the rest of the half like do businesses and supposedly network. Okay, nigga. You know when I felt like shit? Somebody that worked at Spotify told me that they paid Kendrick Lamar $4 million to perform 30 minutes at Cannes for a private group. I said, what the fuck? Nigga, my contract, I'm not getting paid $4 million this year, and I got to give y'all like 72, actually it was like 100 podcasts. Actually more than that. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all niggas gave Kendrick $4 million for a 30-minute performance, nigga? I was tight. All right, come on. This website's acting the fuck up. So, Kendrick's exclusivity, and this is for the K-bots. Y'all can run with this. It's okay. I'm gonna give y'all something because I know y'all been just too heavily focused on hating on Drake. I'm gotta give you something about your artist that y'all can just yes. What the fuck is up with this website? Okay, yeah, they don't like me blocking the ads. Yeah, so back in 2022, Kendrick wasn't performing nowhere, and apparently he was gonna have some big performance. I can't remember when. He was going to have some big performance. Oh, was this? I don't know when this was. He was going to have some big performance, but he didn't perform nowhere. And for whatever reason, he was like, mad people wanted him to perform. Spotify's, geniuses over there. Love y'all, Spotify. My babies. They showed up and they were at Cannes. So what happens is these big companies go there and they have all these festivities trying to, kind of encourage advertisers, this and third, to come fuck with them. And one of their things was having performers. So their performers, the headliner was Kendrick Lamar. Now, I spoke with one of the people. I won't tell you who. I spoke with one of the people. Actually, I spoke to the person who booked Kendrick Lamar. And when they told me the price they booked Kendrick Lamar for, I threw up in my goddamn mouth, nigga. I said, $4 million fucking dollars for what? But yeah, so again, if he's getting paid $4 million for that, and this is in 2022, now I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Coachella would have to cough up over $10 million. Now, Coachella, I believe, is a multi-weekend event. So it's like, right? Am I wrong? Coachella multi-weekend. Yo, Chad, who be just snitching on the industry more than me? Like, I be coming here with all this shit. I tell you who Cardi be fucking. I come over here and tell y'all who's getting dropped. Chad, I ain't gonna lie. After me, there will be no more. It's so good. Yeah. So it's a multi-weekend type of joint, right? So this is one weekend, and then this is the other weekend. So I think that the headliner performs at both weekends. Yeah, you gotta give Kendrick over $10 million. You get what I'm saying? Now, I seen a site run that, look, all right, let's read this. Coachella's become a victim of his own success. Let's read into it. Now, I don't know if money is going to be an issue. It said, for kids growing up in L.A., attending Coachella is a rite of passage. By the way, this is true. All the rich kids in L.A. go to Coachella. It's kind of like in the Valley. It's specifically there for a reason. Some of these people take helicopters. Apparently, when Coachella's happening, all these rich kids, Calabasas and third, private jets, a lot of shit happens. Damn, my little skeleton fell off. But yeah, people go out and they go check out Coachella. So, the price of the tickets are higher than like a Rolling Loud, and it's seen as a little bit more pristine. So like the performers, if you headline Coachella, like, and I'm spitballing here, I've heard that the headliner for Rolling Loud is like $4 or $5 million. The headliner for Coachella, like last I heard, was about $8 million. Right now, granted, if it's Kendrick at this point, you gotta pay 10. You know what I'm saying? So just to put in perspective what a headliner looks like. Who's the headliner? It's basically a festival that have a bunch of people on the thing. The guy with the biggest font, the person's performing last, right? Like, that, right? Okay, so cool. Let's read this article real quick. For kids growing up in LA, attending Coachella is a rite of passage. The cool kids got to go to high school, while those of us who worked on the high school newspaper didn't make it until college. By 2011, my first year at the festival, Coachella had become the single most important musical festival in North America, if not the world. I mean, I think, didn't Frank Ocean perform here? Like, I think they gave him a bag. I could tell y'all, I have it in my email how much they gave that nigga. Frank Ocean, Coachella. Or was he scheduled to perform? He never did. Frank Ocean don't show up nowhere. So they gave this nigga the bag and a half. This is why this nigga, Coachella be hitting niggas with the bag so crazy. Yo, Variety's hating on me today. All right, fuck you, Variety. Okay, cool. Coachella be giving niggas the bag so much, it incentivizes you not to do no other concerts, or just like, because think about this, right? And just think about this. And this is why, like, certain artists, there's mad ways to skin a cat, right? So Drake makes $320 million on his own tour. If you're gonna book Drake, you're spending multi-millions anyway. If you're gonna book him, could Drake headline Coachella? Of course. I don't necessarily think that crowd especially is a Drake crowd, because a lot of times these guys, they go for like pristine, not seen all over the place acts, and Drake is just more available. But here's the thing: Drake by far makes the most amount of money touring. However, think about somebody like Frank Ocean. Maybe does one show a year. When he does that show, he's going to get over $5 million for the one show, right? Now, let's go back to Kendrick. Remember, I just said, I think if Kendrick does Coachella 2025, right? I think, by that time his album might be out. So his album might be out. He did Super Bowl. You got to pay him over $10 million, 10, 11, maybe $12 million, right? Just for him to do Coachella. So it's 2 weekends. He's doing 2 performances, probably an hour, hour and a half. So 3 hours of his time, 12 million, 10 to $12 million, right? Just work with me as I try to break it down to y'all. Kendrick just did a whole tour. It made 89 million, or actually it was 96. I think my numbers are off. But it was 96 for how many days? Anyway, his tour average gross was about like 2 million. Like, we could pull it up right now, right? I just want to show you why some artists use the exclusivity thing. So look, Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale tour. Like, I know the number I told you just sounds utterly ridiculous, but it's not. You get what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick would get $10 million for it. Like, Positive. Okay. If we look at his own tour on average is about 1.5 million in gross. So think about this, right? For Kendrick to make $10 million, like remember this is the whole gross of the tour of the event. So Kendrick essentially has to do so if it's 1.5, 10 divided by 1.5, let me do the math, maybe like 6.5 or 7. So let's 7 shows to get $10 million, right? So he has to do 7 shows to get $10 million, and that's just 10 million gross. But he only probably gets about like 40 to 60% out of that. So really, it's more than 10 shows. So again, he probably has to do to get $10 million in what he would receive, right? Because remember, this is a tour. You got to pay all the expenses. Not 7 shows, maybe 10 shows. Like, respectfully. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, like, play him or make him look no type of weird. Let's say 9 shows, whatever, right? What he would make for 9 shows on his tour, he makes in 2 weekends or for 2 shows at Coachella. So that's a good bag. And why is he worth that much? Well, you're not going to catch Kendrick too many places. So you're going to have to pay the cost to see the boss. And Kendrick's the boss when he hasn't performed anything. So that's the way how people play exclusivity. If you wonder why Frank Ocean's so elusive, that nigga's not just strolling down every motherfucking random street. That nigga plays the exclusivity game. Yo, all right. Yo, I could, it's interesting how Drake works because Drake does more of the quantity stuff. Like Drake puts the work in. These other guys are like, yo, if we're here to get the bag, maybe we're not getting the 320, but we could do 1/10 of the show that Drake does to make, I don't know, 1/3 of what he does, if that makes sense. So exclusivity works like Kendrick has done that a couple of times. Frank Ocean 100% does that, right? It's the reason why you don't see Frank Ocean nowhere. Because when you do see Frank Ocean, the bill has been paid. So again, I only show you about, and again, I'm spitballing here. I haven't heard any solid numbers on Coachella. I'm going off of hearing that Travis Scott, and I have good authority that last time Travis Scott was supposed to headline on Coachella, he was scheduled to be paid $8 million. So if I'm looking at Travis at 8 at that time, I'm looking at Kendrick at pretty much the peak of his career. At this point, he's going to do Super Bowl. If if he did Super Bowl, then Coachella would have a clause to say, you do no other concerts after the Super Bowl other than Coachella. If y'all were giving Travis 8 back then, you got to give him more. I'm saying at least 10. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I'm coming up with that number, just to be very clear. If you guys are wondering, like, where are you getting these numbers from? You know what I mean? I sourced Travis number, and that's Travis number a couple years ago. Then I'm using that to extrapolate to be Kendrick's number. Okay. Cool. And we all, and by the way, I do believe whenever Kendrick drops in 2024, I think he's going to be the biggest seller in hip hop. Yes, even if Drake drops an album, I think he'll outsell Drake. I think I've said that before. I think he'll do around 600, maybe 700. I think if Drake drops, and even if he, prepares it like an album, I think we're going to see Drake in the 500 range, and Kendrick will still beat him. Okay. At least for this next album, just because of momentum, people thirsting to hear more and all those other things, right? Cool. So, all right, let me get back to the conversation about Coachella. So let's keep reading, right? It was the first place I saw a hologram perform live. Oh, that's where Tupac hologram was? Oh, cool. In the first place, many Americans experience Korean pop. Okay, pop artists went there. It served as the official beginning of summer concert season and uses various stages to coronate many acts. But over the last few years, Coachella's lost a bit of that magic. It fell in love with pop, got overran by influencers. Yeah, like, I think they had showed some shit. Coachella private jets. Like, the amount of private jets to go to Coachella and, like, helicopters, it showed that, look, oh, sorry, you can't see it. Look, there's there's companies that are profiting off of it, right? And they're doing private service to Coachella. Why? The people who go to Coachella, they have a bigger bankroll. If you're someone who goes to Rolling Loud, you're gonna have to be able to spend like $400 to get like a pass for the weekend. if you're going to Coachella, you're a person who's probably committing $1,000 per person at least. You get what I'm saying? It's a little bit like it's a little steeper pockets, and because of that, in terms of steeper pockets. By the way, let's look at it right now. Coachella 2025. I don't know if you could see. There's a wait list for tickets. They've given. Let's look. Can we see anything about the passes? 2025 passes. Let's see if we can see. Okay, cool. So yeah, so they sell it by the weekend. So as I said, it's $1,000 commitment to go. Right. This is general admission. So even at the lowest users being in the crowd, weekend 1, and if you want to go weekend 2, they're starting at $600 to go to both. You're gonna go. That's $1,200. Now I know some of y'all might be like, well, some people don't want to go to both weekends. They go to one. All right, cool, got you. But if we just kind of look at the prices, we're talking about if you want to go for both weekends, and sometimes people will spend the whole week there, right? Weekend 1, they'll have a spot that's close to the valley. They have all their friends there. They turn to a party. It's like almost like a wild ass shit, right? But just what you're gonna have to commit for that. So general admission and shuttle. Now we're at $1,300 for general admission. VIP. Now we're at damn near $2,500, right? So you could already see, and that's just VIP, right? It just allows VIP areas, which, still tame. There is other, VIP for 2, $4,500 here. General admission here, $3,400. Like there's a bunch of other shit that, you're going to spend a pretty penny if you want to go to Coachella, right? So you got to be the person who is down to spend a couple thousand on a concert, right? Obviously, some people are going to take it to be vacation, but a lot of influencers do flock to this area. Anyway, let's get back to the article. For the last few weeks, I've been talking to music industry executives about what's going on with Coachella, but the larger music business of the festivals, and some of the problems apply across the board. All festivals rise and fall, and many of the festivals are struggling right now. But some of the problems are specific to Coachella, a festival that still makes more money than all but a handful of the biggest tours. Speaking of the festival, screen time is this week. You will no longer be bombarded with the speaker. Fuck that. Cool. So Coachella has become a victim of its own success. Let's read this, and I don't want to bore you with all the reading. I want to get to the core of why Kendrick and Rihanna would turn it down, right? As soon as the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival ended in April, Paul Tolle started to work the phones to secure potential headlines for 2025. The festival has suffered through a tough stretch, shutting down during the pandemic, then failing to sell out the last 2 years. Oh, they didn't sell out. I didn't know that. Tolle, the concert promoter who started the event in 1999, wanted to book some A-list acts to ensure the malaise wouldn't continue in the third year. And he knew exactly who he wanted: Kendrick and Rihanna. Lamar grew up at the festival, performing at the main stage in 2012, then headlined in 2017. A Pulitzer Prize winner, Lamar's public war of words with Drake has made him the hottest rapper in the world. Rihanna, one of the most popular and elusive musicians around, hadn't staged a proper tour in years. Her appearance would all but ensure a sellout, but both passed. According to several people familiar with the matter, Lamar is scheduled to perform at the 2025 Super Bowl and then plans a tour of major stadiums. Now let me stop right there. This is very interesting, and this is good knowledge to know. So it appears that Kendrick Lamar, and I'll Google that, Kendrick Lamar Stadium Tour. They're saying that Kendrick Lamar is going to be embarking possibly on a stadium tour. Now, this is very significant. We've never seen, and again, for all y'all K-barbs, y'all could clip it, because I know y'all be like, oh, even I said this. Like, the K-barbs, anytime I compliment Kendrick, like, it's like they're jizzing over this. They're like, oh my God, let's go. Thank you, Ak. It's cool. I'm giving y'all boy credit tonight, so y'all could, jizz into eternity. So, so Kendrick Lamar is probably going to do something that I haven't seen. Maybe, what's the last rapper that did a stadium tour solo? We know, Jay-Z did one with Beyonce on the Run tour, but we can't really count that because that's Beyonce on tour and that's his wife. Fuck that. Didn't Eminem do a stadium tour? I feel like he did. Eminem stadium tour. Didn't he? The Monster? Ooh, no. Well, he had Rihanna on that one. We can't count that. Yeah. And it wasn't that many dates. Did he ever do a stadium tour? Am I tripping? Let me Google. Last rapper to do stadium tour. Yeah, this is bringing up Kendrick. So Kendrick possibly would be doing something that, I'm gonna be honest with you, we haven't seen. Wait, am I tripping, chat? Somebody says I'm muted on YouTube. That's impossible. Doesn't work like that. If I'm muted on Twitch, I'm muted on YouTube. Eminem never did. Travis never did either. No. Travis never did. Travis did stadiums. I'm not saying have done stadiums. I said did a stadium tour. What a stadium tour looks like is Taylor Swift tour dates. Like when you look at her tour dates, it's only gonna say stadium, and these are all stadium. Okay, I think Bad Bunny last tour. I think his last tour might have been a stadium tour. El Último Tour del Mundo. It's the last tour of the world. I do think these might have been. Let's go down. Wait. No. Wait. I thought that was a tour, not the album. Oh, okay. Let's find the tour. No, it's the Most Wanted. Sorry. Most Wanted tour. Bad Bunny. I don't even think that was a stadium tour. I think that was an arena tour. Right? Let's see. Yep, arena. These are arenas. I think his tour before that, World's Hottest Tour, was an arena tour, I think. Let's go see. Stadium, Fenway Park Stadium. These are all stadiums. This was a stadium tour. So Bad Bunny's done a stadium tour. You know, I kind of did criticize Drake a bit, saying, yo, Drake, why are you doing 8 dates in New York? Bro, do Yankee Stadium twice. You get what I'm saying? Like, think about this, right? Madison Square. All right, fuck all that. Let's just look at Drake. It's a Blur tour. When we look at this and we go to Madison Square, even though I know he did it multiple times. Here we go. So, yeah. Madison Square, he did how many nights here? 1, 2, 3. So we got to divide 51 by 3 to see the capacity. I'm pulling up the calculator on the side. 51 divided by 3. So 17,000. So he sold out 17,000, did it 3 nights, which equals to 51. Perfect. Cool. Here's the thing. Yankee Stadium capacity. And by the way, Barclays hold less than 17. So essentially, here's the thing. All 3 nights, you could have done one fucking event at Yankee Stadium and fucking killed it. You get what I'm saying? Or let's, because obviously there's going to be a part that they mask off. So let's say 38. 38 and 38, let's just say 70. 70,000 if he does 2 nights at Yankee Stadium, at least 70, 75. And if he's going to do an arena, he has to do that 5 or 6 times. So I think a lot of people said, well, why not do less work and get more people? Because you clearly could do a stadium because you did 8 nights in New York. And if you don't believe me, they did 8 nights in New York. Here we go. Drake, It's a Blur tour. When you look at it, like I'm going to count up all the days he did in New York. Look, New York City. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, there's 7. And where's? I thought he came to Prudential. Oh, he came back to Prudential. I'm sorry. So he came to Prudential, which is in Jersey, actually. Where is that at? Yeah, he came here. So he did about 7 dates. Okay, cool. Anyway, the point what I'm trying to say is that I often, asked why Drake didn't do a stadium tour. I've gotten mixed results and mixed opinions. They said Drake he gets more money out of doing these arena tours, even though he's doing more dates. Okay, that's one. Number 2, I hear that, hip hop sucks in a arena setting. In arena setting, most of these guys, especially when they're just like that, like a whole arena who's you look like a tiny speck when they're up in the fucking nosebleeds in an arena in a stadium. You're gonna need more than that, right? So like even on the Underrun tour with Beyonce and Jay-Z, Beyonce's coming out with pyrotechnics. She's coming out with all type of like going through my hand, like all this like like shaking their asses, like her and 50 girls doing it. Like it's like a whole thing, you know what I mean? And this is what I would say, with all due respect, and fuck with Drake, but I think Kendrick is a great performer, and I think I went to Kendrick's show and I was like, God damn, this nigga has choreography and all this type of shit. I could see why he could possibly put on a show that would fit a stadium. And by the way, he's gonna be doing a stadium for the Super Bowl. So just like how Usher kind of prepped up to get to the Super Bowl, I think Kendrick's gonna create a show that he's gonna give to the Super Bowl and then take that show on the road and do it in stadiums. This is going to be, if this gets done, it would be something we've never seen before, right? Now, granted, other artists who possibly could do stadiums or I would like to see do stadiums, obviously like Travis Scott. Who else? Name some great hip-hop performers. Yeah, I can see Travis doing stadiums. Travis, Kendrick. I don't know. My brain's not thinking. Anyway. Okay, cool. So, if you ask me why Kendrick turned down Coachella, if he's going on his own stadium tour, the best way to catapult it is do the Super Bowl, drop an album, announce your not arena, your stadium tour. Now again, I have to see how Kendrick makes hip hop look in a stadium. That's unheard of. They say Rihanna. Let me see. What do y'all say in the chat? I see a lot of people saying shit. My bad. I went on a rant. I didn't look at the chat for a bit. Give me a second. Shout out to everybody on the King Akademiks and the Academy page. Love all of y'all. Future cannot do a stadium. You out of your fucking mind. You must be on crack. Future cannot do a stadium. Future just got to the point of doing arena tours. He cannot do a stadium. Stop it. Cardi cannot do a stadium either. Now, I'm saying these guys can't. Maybe they could do a one-off that resembles a stadium, but they can't go on tour and get stadium numbers. Like, you crazy? Oh, Kanye could do a stadium. Oh yeah, I would love to see Ye in a stadium. Okay, here we go though. So if you're wondering why I think Kendrick would turn it down, because again, I'm estimating the easy $10 to $12 million he could have got from 2 weeks of performance, two performances, and what I'm trying to say is that financially they're going to make it attractive for him. That's even less work than he would do on his own tour. So why wouldn't he take the money? Well, he wouldn't take the money because he's coming off the Super Bowl. He's probably going to drop his album, maybe announce a tour, and probably has a stadium tour at that point. So why then give it to Coachella? Because the people, like, he's probably going to be charging good prices. Why go let people go get like an all-in-one view of your stadium tour at Coachella? So you say no to Coachella. You do Super Bowl, that's it, right? So I do think that the rumors that he's planning a major stadium tour, I think it's a possibility. Now, I wouldn't, of course, just assume it is what it is until I hear it announced. But I do, if Kendrick's announcing a major stadium tour, I think hip-hop is in trouble. And I think that wouldn't, when I mean hip-hop in trouble, nothing like it's bad. I think anyone who wants to compete with Kendrick should take note. And when I mean take note, he's coming for the crown, right? You don't get in talks to get a stadium tour unless you're planning to drop an album filled with hits. And I get it. Not Like Us, great song, people love it, but you're going to have to drop that album with a whole bag of hits. So clearly he ain't going to be on, because we all listen to Mr. Morale. He's like, yo, my daddy touched me, my mama's a man, like all type of shit, like, yo, my auntie's a nigga. I don't know what he was talking about. That nigga needed therapy on that particular project. Cool. I think he going to get back to bop type music where he's still going to have his message. Kendrick always got some type of message somewhere, but he's going to realize niggas want to, kind of dance. People want to have fun, and he's just not going to lecture. So if he's doing this, I think he's going to be in that realm, and I think hip-hop should realize Kendrick is making his final run to be undisputed the number one rapper. Because let's be honest and be very clear right now. Even though I said that I believe that Kendrick would probably outsell Drake if they both drop next year, I don't believe that Kendrick is the number one rapper. I think that's still Drake. Why? Drake's more consistent. Drake we see doing more, and Drake still numbers eclipse Kendrick even streaming wise. I think if Kendrick is trying to make a legit run of really dethroning Drake, that would happen in the next year or so. But for the people who are wondering now, I don't think at all he's dethroned Drake yet. I think Drake is still the numero uno. But this would be a great plan to try to do so. All right. So cool. Rihanna, why would she turn it down? Well, here's the thing. I think Rihanna gets in sales. So let's say they pay Rihanna $10 million. I think when Rihanna drops a new line of fucking brasiers or whatever the fuck, Fenty Beauty or whatever, Fenty, Savage Fenty X or whatever the case is, I think Rihanna is making tens of millions of dollars. I don't really think headlining a concert really moves her anymore. If it did, she would probably be trying to drop more music, and she doesn't seem to care. So I think she's billionaire status. I think that her plans are more important and actually trump the idea of even appearing on something like Coachella. So I don't think, I understand why she would even turn it down. Anyway, let's keep it going. With 6 months to go until next year's festival, Tole is scrambling to secure some type of headliner that could restore the luster. Coachella has become a victim of his own success, according to several people familiar with the booking process. Fans expect the festival to offer them an experience they can't find elsewhere. Frank Ocean, Rihanna, Kendrick, right? While Lollapalooza could get away with booking the same acts as many other festivals, Coachella cannot. Yet attracting global pop stars and unique performers has gotten harder as those stars can now make more on their own. See, I just explained that without even seeing this. A spokesperson for Golden Voice, the company that puts on the festival, did not respond for comment. Tole dropped out of college to work at Golden Voice. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. All right, let me scroll down a little bit more. In 2011, Coachella hosted more than 200,000 fans and grossed $23 million over 3 days. Kanye West was one of the headliners. A sign that Coachella's brought in musical repertoire. Initially focused on rock and some electronic, the festival expanded to include hip hop, pop, Latin, Korean pop, and added stages for DJs. This year, Oasis reunion would have been a perfect set for Coachella of old. As the event stature increased, Tole began to conceive performances that fans couldn't find anywhere else. Okay, cool. All right, so by 2018, they secured Beyonce for a rare festival performance. By that time, Coachella annual sales had eclipsed $100 million. So you see why they're paying the headliner $10 million, right? Or $8 million, right? By the way, there was a whole drama with this too, because I forgot. 2018, you know what's happened, and I don't know if they're going to mention it here. So, and I didn't read the article. I'm reading this organically. What started to happen is that headliners start hearing about what last year's headliners were paid, and they wanted to either match it or sometimes even eclipse it. And I remember that was the thing with the Travis thing. I forgot what artist, but I remember there was something with Beyonce where Beyonce was demanding a certain money, but it was also that negotiation was predicated based on what they had either paid somebody else or something of the sort. Anyway, so by 2018, they're making over $100 million, and they stretched over 2 weekends. The buzz around these performances attracted influencers and young festival goers, transforming the crowd at what had been an event for slightly older diehard music fans. Party promoters decided to host events specifically for influencers. Okay, to satisfy this new clientele, they created locations throughout the festivals that was ideal for Instagram. Okay, they booked a growing number of pop headliners: Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish. Okay, cool. Oh, here. Oh, shit. Did I tell y'all? Yo, chat, am I wrong or am I always right? Yet booking A-list acts have grown harder in the recent years. Chat, I swear, I promise, I would not lie to you. I've never seen this article before until now. I'm reading on stream. And everything I told you was just what I've known from talking to people in the game. While major music musicians headline festivals for lucrative paydays, the biggest acts in the world today can now make more on their own. Promoters and ticketing companies have figured out how to increase prices to record highs, while Coachella pays headliners $8 million to $12 million for the 2 weekends. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you Kendrick right now will get $10 to $12 million? I told you this before. Come on, man. Yo, can I get Big W for act? Because sometimes I think I tell y'all like industry shit that I hear from like managers of these niggas, and I'm like, yo, act is just up here lying. Come on, bro. Beyonce and Taylor Swift now gross more than $15 million a night. Well, here's the thing. They got to put on those concerts themselves, and the take home is not $15 million a night. You get what I'm saying? Even though I heard Taylor does take home 10 a night with better profits. Coachella has also committed a couple of unforced errors. In 2023, they thought they pulled off a coup, booking Frank Ocean for his first live performance in 6 years. He was supposed to perform in 2020 before it was canceled due to the pandemic, but the set started late and disappointed fans. People online complained when the live stream was canceled, and those in attendance booed when Ocean ended his set little more than after an hour. They asked for their money back. After negative reaction from the crowd and the media, Ocean canceled his performance scheduled for the second weekend. The episode damaged Coachella's reputation in the artist community, and many musicians blame organizers for mishandling a widely respected artist. Coachella bore some responsibility. Okay, cool. So they blamed him for what's the name? Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Perfect. So essentially, I think this goes to show how lucrative it's become. And if Kendrick does this, I think it's going to be historic. Never been done before. And you have to understand why both artists would turn this down. Like, Rihanna at this point, like, Rihanna's getting booked to go perform. Did y'all see that performance she did overseas in, like, Dubai? Rihanna performed Dubai. No. She performed at somebody's, like, wedding. She performed at somebody's... Was it Dubai? It's somebody's wedding or something like that. Yeah, this right here.
Rihanna wows the crowd in a pre-wedding Anna Ambani and rap.
Now, put like this. The person she performed for is Amant Ambani. Google this guy, and supposedly he's one of the richest motherfuckers on earth. Net worth. His net worth is supposedly $120 billion. Okay? Now, he got married. Wedding cost. And she didn't perform at the actual wedding. His wedding cost $600 million. So you get what I'm saying? So Rihanna's like, oh.
So allegedly, Rihanna and Kendrick Lamar both declined Coachella for 2025. And, you know, I feel it, bro. Like, Rihanna is a whole billionaire. She does not care about getting $10 million. She's rich enough. Like, honestly, Rihanna wants nothing to do with music. How people kept telling her, drop the album. She's done with music. She does not care about music anymore. I don't think her love was actually ever music. It was making money, and she's making the most money she's ever made her whole life by not doing music. There's always outside ventures that always make you the most money, because she probably knows the music business and like the people in there and all that stuff. Man, crazy world we live in. Kendrick Lamar, one of the GOATs. Kendrick Lamar, he doesn't need the festival either. He already said that he plans on going on a stadium tour, which, you know, gonna break hip hop records. Gonna drop his album. 2024 was basically his year. Let's keep it a bean. I'm not gonna sit here and say he beat Drake, but like, man, everyone's seen this all happen. And man, let's just pray and hope everything goes well. We'll see who's headline Coachella. Maybe Travis Scott again, but it's your boy Big X News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.